What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Daniel Bryan thought he was gonna die at WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley slams WWE's booking, Pat McAfee called out after SmackDown, Roman Reigns hints at leaving WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now that's the intro and get straight into our first story. Now, our first story looks at Daniel Bryan thought that he was gonna die at WrestleMania. Now, first story today looks at how former WWE superstar Daniel Bryan actually thought that he was gonna pass away during WrestleMania 37. Bryan had a huge match at WrestleMania this year, as he would main event Night 2 of WrestleMania in an acclaimed triple threat match, which also featured Edge and Roman Reigns. Bryan has been rather public in the fact that he felt like he didn't believe he belonged in the match itself. He stated in a number of interviews over the past few months that he believed that the match should have been a standard 1v1 encounter between the Royal Rumble winner Edge and Roman Reigns. Bryan believes that he should have put a younger talent over at WrestleMania, especially with his contract coming to an end, and Bryan actually wanted this to be Jey Uso. This would have been a huge moment for Jey and would without a doubt been the biggest victory of his career. During a recent interview with Casual Conversations with the Classic, Bryan actually revealed that he felt so empty during the WrestleMania main event that he thought he was actually gonna die. Bryan stated, "When I walked out for the match at WrestleMania, it felt so empty. Fans were cheering and all that kind of stuff. When I wrestled, I feel everything. What I remember most about that match is just feeling empty and thinking, oh man, I legitimately felt like I'm gonna die. Is this a premonition that I'm gonna die?" And I wasn't even freaked out. Bryan would depart the WWE shortly after WrestleMania, deciding to sign for AEW. Since then, he's found great success in the promotion, having tremendous wrestling matches seemingly on a weekly basis. Next up, Rhea Ripley slams WWE's booking. When the team members for the 5v5 women's match at Survivor Series were announced, a lot of criticism surfaced on social media. This criticism came from WWE fans who directed their frustrations at WWE's lazy build to the pay-per-view. WWE's way of simply announcing superstars for the match on social media rather than booking qualifying matches on television was seen as lackluster and as underwhelming as it gets. Also, criticism was directed towards WWE for not including Nikki Ash in the Raw team. At the time of the announcement, Nikki was one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions alongside Rhea Ripley. Ripley was announced for the match, but Nikki wasn't. It wasn't just fans who were angry with this decision from WWE, as Ripley, during an interview with Sportskeeda, shared her disappointment in WWE deciding to leave her out of the team. Ripley revealed, "To not have her on the team is a little bit disrespectful. I think I'm more disappointed than Nikki because she's such a positive person. Yes, I know she's upset, but I'm very upset for her because I know she worked so incredibly hard for everything that she's accomplished." What do you guys think? Should Nikki have been included in the Survivor Series match? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Jeff Hardy had a SWAT team break into his house. A WWE legend, Jeff Hardy, appeared on the most recent episode of the Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions, and during this appearance, Hardy was extremely open in relation to his personal demons. One of the stories that Hardy tells Austin on the episode is the time a SWAT team entered his house in 2009. According to Hardy, he was ordering pills illegally online, and this led to a SWAT team breaking into his property. Hardy would reveal, "I was ordering pills illegally in the mail and I got busted. SWAT team comes into my house, me and my wife and our little dog. I was busted. I got busted for getting pills illegally. I thought my life was over. I went to jail that weekend. It was a mind-blowing experience. I was terrified. I thought my life was over. That was a time that really scared me straight. When I realized that, okay, things might be okay. This might not be the end of my life. As long as I get clean and do what I need to be doing and staying clean and staying out of trouble, things are going to be alright." And that led to 2010, man. My wife gave birth to our first daughter, and then 5 years later, our second daughter. But yeah, leaving WWE where I was, and then it was like, oh my god, total rock bottom. Hardy would go on to describe the incident as terrifying and would be sentenced to a hefty fine, 10 days in jail and 30 months of probation for the incident. Next up, a Maven returning to WWE. Inaugural Tough Enough winner Maven is mostly known by WWE fans for his few years in the WWE during the Ruthless Aggression era. Now, although Maven never won any major titles in the WWE outside the Hardcore title, he did have a few notable feuds, including a feud with The Undertaker and Evolution. Let's not forget he was also in the main event for Survivor Series. According to Maven, during an interview with that 90s wrestling podcast, Maven actually met with Triple H before the global pandemic about returning to WWE. This meeting was said to go extremely well, and it would have actually seen Maven return to WWE as a commentator for programming. Maven revealed that due to the world virtually shutting down, these plans were halted, but he hopes the return does indeed go ahead. Would you guys like to see him back on the mic? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Pat McAfee called out following SmackDown. Pat McAfee continues to be a major highlight of SmackDown on a weekly basis, but McAfee hit headlines this week following a controversial comment he made during Friday's broadcast. When the crowd were chanting "We want Lesnar" during the show, McAfee asked, "Did they say 'Let's go Brandon'?" Now, for those not aware, the "Let's go Brandon" phrase is a political slogan for insulting current US President Joe Biden. This comment has led to McAfee receiving criticism for his political comment, and fans have been calling for McAfee to make a comment on the matter. But as of the publishing of this video, McAfee is yet to make a public comment. Next up, The Undertaker was livid at WWE creative direction. The Undertaker has been extremely protective over his character throughout his career, and thanks to his appearance on The Bump this week, fans learned about a specific incident which made the WWE icon absolutely livid. Back in 1993, The Undertaker was part of the All-American team at Survivor Series, and to announce his allegiance to the team, The Undertaker revealed an American flag lining inside of his jacket during the build to the pay-per-view. The Undertaker revealed on The Bump that he believed that the patriotic expression wasn't remotely appropriate for his character, and he added that it made him livid. The former champion added, "Believe me, I'm as big a patriot as will come down the road. I do a lot of work with our veterans and our first responders, but when Vince presented that to me, I was like, there's no way in heck I'm going to be walking out there and open my coat with that flag." He thought it was so cool because it was the Betsy Ross 13 colony flag, right? And that was what was going to make it look cool. I was livid. I was like, this is not what The Undertaker does. And finally, Roman Reigns hinting at leaving WWE? Our final story takes a look at the possibility of Reigns leaving the company. Now, this possibility may seem random, but following this week's edition of SmackDown, there are a lot of rumors that the WWE and Reigns himself are planting the seeds for his eventual departure. During Reigns' promo on SmackDown, Reigns alluded to his WWE departure by saying, "I'm your tribal chief, and I'm the greatest of all time. And then when my days are done around here, which could be sooner than later, the whole world will acknowledge me." Now, we do know that the current Universal Champion signed a new WWE contract in 2019, but it's unknown when this expires. It's possible that Reigns is just trying to create buzz online, but nevertheless, it was an interesting and thought-provoking comment from the tribal chief. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.